United about to make their first move for Antoine Semenyo for this January, according to reports this morning. That is the top story in our Saturday morning show. Hello everybody, this is FUTV United TV. I'm Adam. Welcome along to your live show to kickstart the weekend. Football back this weekend in the Premier League. Manchester United are away at Crystal Palace tomorrow. We'll touch on what Rúben Amorim said, because there is also another report from what Rúben Amorim said after the press conference around the ideal wing-back scenario for the left-hand side. He wants to mimic the Amad Diallo setup on the right, on the left. Now, who can you bring in for that? It has to be an attacking player. So this morning we're linking both that story and the news that Antoine Semenyo is Manchester United's #1 target this January. Now, more realistic target is probably the best way of looking at it. We will touch on the midfield news that came up yesterday again, but it's starting to be played down a lot more now, and more concerning reports coming out for the summer and the competition that Manchester United might have when wanting to sign them top targets. The big problem that Manchester United have right now is balancing, yes, going for realistic price targets in the summer and not wanting to spend too much in January, and actually getting somewhere this season by buying in January. Because if we do succeed this season, it gives us a better chance to then get our targets in the summer. This is the scenario, this is the problem that Manchester United are facing right now, and it's clear that there is going to be stiff opposition. In fact, we've already had stories come out that Adam Wharton will only go to a Champions League club this summer, which takes out one of the players. The only guaranteed player United can get at the moment is the one who's in the worst form, which is Carlos Baleba. Elliot Anderson now is wanted by Manchester City, and they have made him their top target as well. United need to get up there. So moves need to be made at the start of this January transfer window, and in particular in Antoine Semenyo, because he is a realistic target and a realistic gettable player for Manchester United this January. The price is right, the player's right. Now you can discuss whether we think he can get him into that wing-back position, but Rúben Amorim, when talking about potential players, I've mentioned this before plenty of times, that he's talking about this hybrid system that he's got. We're not seeing it. We need more proof that we can get more out of these players. We're not going to get it, I don't think. I really don't. Like, the players will turn up tomorrow, I'm pretty certain. I will be absolutely devastated if they don't. But I'm sick of having to get reactions out of players just to get results. It's really annoying as a Manchester United fan. We just need better players. It's as simple as that. It has to be better players, and that's the only way Manchester United are going to be able to get up there in the European places, compete for potentially Champions League places, and potentially then go out and get them top midfield targets, which are the be-all and end-all for Manchester United. It is a disaster right now in terms of the depth we've got and what Rúben Amorim really trusts in that side. Not wanting to downplay any of the players. I would like to see Kobbie Mainoo. I would like to see if Manuel Ugarte could actually do something, but Rúben doesn't trust them. And while Rúben's in charge, it is a disaster because we can't see anybody else playing. Casemiro's on one yellow card away from missing the next game. And Manchester United then are looking at what? Who we are actually going to be forced to play, or Rúben's going to be forced to play Kobbie Mainoo. All of that scenario is what we're going to be dealing with all season. I'll touch on the midfield targets for the January transfer window in a minute, but the report today coming out from Indy is that Manchester United have made their first move for Antoine Semenyo. And it says, according to sources, that Manchester United has made a move for Antoine Semenyo, presenting a contract offer to his agent. Reports confirmed that a meeting took place on Wednesday between United officials and the agent, signalling their interest. However, it's important to note that United are not the front runners for his signature, and the talks are all ongoing, but Liverpool is currently leading the race, having made the most progress in negotiations. So Manchester United apparently and reportedly have approached the agent and the player with a personal terms and contract, and this was the stumbling block, or one of the stumbling blocks, to not signing Semenyo in the summer, which is why it's probably worth talking about, because he wasn't offered the right amount. Well, in his eyes, wasn't offered enough by Manchester United, and the transfer did not happen. Manchester United weren't willing to spend 70 million on him either, which Bournemouth was saying was the price. That obviously now this January is 60 million. 10 million less is quite a chunk of money to take off a transfer. And obviously after 6 months of proven quality again already this season, he is hot property. And I think United do have to go in for Semenyo. I really do. It's like people will say it's not the right player for what we need in January. But again, I've kept on saying this all along. Look, you're going to lose Mbeumo, you're going to lose Cunha at times, you're going to not play Benjamin Sesko at times. Amad is going to be fixed in that right wing-back position. I think Rúben will alternate Semenyo, if he got him, in that right wing-back area and the number 10. The report about Liverpool wanting Semenyo more and further down the line, I've heard a lot of talk about that, and I think that is true and real. If I'm Semenyo right now, where do I go? The best thing for Manchester United in this scenario is that we are obviously looking here at Liverpool sinking as well as Manchester United sinking. Yes, Liverpool are in the Champions League now, but obviously in the league they're in and around with Manchester United, both in appalling, well, not appalling form. Liverpool in appalling form, United poor form in the last 3 games. But where would you go? What would you do as Antoine Semenyo? United need to make it clear that you are going to be a first team starter. You're going to play week in, week out. You can't get that at Liverpool. I don't care what anyone says or how you try to argue that point. You're not going to be guaranteed a place in that Liverpool side. So Manchester United need to drive home this. And I think maybe a contract offer on the table that was bigger than what we were offering him in the summer might get his head turned a little bit. And if United gets, and we know how Man United work with transfers, if United get any inkling as to Semenyo really wanting to move to Manchester United and get the green light as such from the player, then you know that United will go all in and try and make this deal happen. I think they know what the price is. So really, it's all about convincing the player. Do you want to come to United? United can afford him and they can afford that money. It's as clear as day. It's if United want to go for Semenyo. Now, I think they would have bought him anyway in the summer, or would have attempted to buy him in the summer. And this has always been my push. If there are targets that you would have got in the summer that you can get in January, why wouldn't you do it? He is Prem proven and he is ready to go in. He's a plug and play player that can just go into Man United's side, whether it be in the 10, whether it be in a change of formation for Rúben Amorim. God knows what he's thinking right now, honestly. That's the thing. But I don't care about Rúben Amorim with Semenyo. I know that Semenyo, Mbeumo, Cunha, players like this, Amad, they will all work with any manager. So it's down to the club to make this deal happen. Yes, Amorim would want Semenyo. That's just good. And the club should be looking at this and saying, well, if Amorim wants him, we need to take advantage of this now, because obviously Amorim has a say on transfers. And this man would work with anyone past this season, with any next manager coming around. And if you get the chance to get this guy, even if this season doesn't work out for United, but we get Semenyo in January, you've got him. And you can work with him in different ways going forward. He's an absolute quality player that you cannot miss out on. Manchester United should be all over this. And like I just said then, it doesn't matter if it's Rúben Amorim going into next season or the end of this season. Semenyo works with any manager. He's an absolute baller and proven quality, which any top team in this country would take, which tells you exactly how good he is and why United need to be taking advantage of this moment now. Teams might not be in a good position in January like United are to get Semenyo, so take advantage of it. If you're not going to buy a midfielder or your midfielder is not there, then that's just the way it is. That's just the way it goes down. And United have an opportunity to buy Semenyo, another position. Look, I don't think that he's going to be completely happy playing left wing back at Manchester United. But again, I don't think that he's always going to constantly play there. I really think if Rúben wants to convince us that this system is a hybrid and it does alternate and change, then you go out and get Semenyo and you show us how this works. It's not about the system, fixated on the system. It's a 4-4-2, it's a 4-3-3, it's then a 3-4-3, it can be a 3-5-2, whatever it wants. Like he was saying to DAZN Portugal the other day, show us then by going out and getting the players that can adapt to any of them systems. And Semenyo, whether he's at wing back or not, is a threat for Manchester United. Amad gets forward and scores goals from wing-back, probably more than he does at 10. I think his goals have come from the wing-back area when he's played there this season. So realistically, it's not a defensive role. We're talking about attacking Everton the other day with 5 defenders. If United are not going to be able to buy a midfielder, and we might have to go, say for instance, at times this season we might have to go double defensive pivot, then you need your wing-backs to be attacking wing-backs. They have to be players that are going to go forward and think and threat, create and score. Amad does that on the right. If Semenyo's on the left, then United, with that forward line also, that's 5 deadly forwards for Manchester United in this team. And then you can start talking about Bruno and bringing in a replacement for him. And now you want to work that midfield, because then an option creates itself, because you've got pure attacking threat out wide that can create. Your midfielders aren't as as necessary, needing to create as much. You can start to utilise the wing-backs, because like everybody said when Rúben Amorim came in, his wing-backs were crucial. His centre-backs were crucial because they would step forward as well. You just need to find the right number 8 and 6 that fits this system in the summer. And we have to crawl our way over the line and somehow make it work with what we've got right now in midfield. I honestly still don't have confidence that we can do that, because I don't rate our options in midfield under Amorim. If he changed the system, this might actually work really well for us. It's down to him though, isn't it? We don't know which way he's going to go. Honestly, we will see, won't we, how he does it. But we cannot miss out on Antoine Semenyo. That's the main thing. We have to get this player in. He is another quality player for Manchester United, and he's just a replacement for Joshua Zirkzee. And that move to Roma looks like it will materialise, and United can get money back for Joshua Zirkzee. And there you go. One player in, one player out. That helps Manchester United massively. So, look, let's see how this one now develops as it goes into the start. But I'm encouraged by the noises that we're actually potentially making moves and contacting Semenyo's people and trying to make something happen, trying to make something materialise here. I think this is where we've got to look at this and say, well, we know that we're in. If we do get the player on board, then we actually are going to go in and get him. It's all about convincing the player now. So over to the powers that be, over to the likes of Jason Wilcox, Christopher Vivell and Rúben Amorim potentially contacting Antoine Semenyo. I think now we know that this clause is out there and that we can go out and get him. Expect to get plenty of contact to the player. Expect Rúben Amorim to make calls, and I think Bournemouth are completely open to the idea of him leaving at this price in this time period. So there's no real drama in this. It's just the necessary go out there, convince him and make him a Man United player. Just make it happen now. We cannot miss out on this player. The midfield is separate to this deal. Just go and get a player that is better than what we've got. Because he is. He's better at wing-back. He's a better option than Zirkzee. Yeah, you could say he's in competition with Bruno, Cunha and Bumo. I don't care. If anybody's looking at a potential replacement for Bruno Fernandes in the 10, and you've got Semenyo, then you're looking at bringing in a completely different look to a midfield area. You're never going to get a Bruno replacement. He's one of them players that's irreplaceable if you want to rely on what he does. And that's key in what I'm saying there. If you're relying on what Bruno does, which is pull moments out of nothing, that type of player, I don't think is available in midfield anywhere. You're going to have to change the look of the midfield to get somebody else in. So make your creative players wide. Make your creative players your 10s and then your 9. Make them the players that are the ones that score the majority of the goals, because you're not going to get a Bruno replacement. Semenyo is part of replacing Bruno in a system and in a team. We need more goals. We need more creativity. And we just don't get that from wide. Shaw doesn't do it. Dorgu doesn't do it. Dalot doesn't do it. Mazraoui doesn't do it. So realistically, you've got 4 wide players there that give us absolutely nothing in terms of creativity out wide. Whichever way you want to look at it, Amad is the only creative wide player. Semenyo coming in would give us that extra little bit of creativity down that side. And then you're not relying on the midfield as much. Because, like I said, you're just not going to find a replacement for Bruno. There is no one out there like him. So forget him. Move him on in the summer. Do what you've got to do. Find a different way of playing. and relying on him isn't necessary then. That's what you've got to get out, I think, of Manchester United now. And that's just me being brutally honest, because you all know that I love Bruno Fernandes, but we need to be creative in different areas of the pitch. And that's just not, we're just not doing that. We're relying solely on Brian and Bumo at the moment, and Amad. Bruno's not even doing that much anymore. And that's because Rúben's playing him in a position where he cannot thrive, and that's on Rúben. So if you're replacing Bruno, you're not necessarily looking for a Bruno-type player anymore. It's somebody else, because your creativity has to come from wide and in them tens. And that, I think, is how United move forward. I think that's, when you look at it and what's available, the realistic way of looking at it as well. Okay, into the chat we go this morning on this. Semenyo, get into the live chat, people, if you're live with us. Also, get your comments in below, everybody, if you are watching and playing catch-up. Semenyo, is it a must? I know we need midfielders, but if we cannot get the main target, then let's strengthen where we can if the opportunity arises. Yeah, that is exactly where it is, Anthony. Thank you so much for the super chat, my man. And bang on with the comment there, mate. It is, you cannot ignore what is in front of you. You cannot ignore other positions just because the biggest problem is midfield. If them players are not there, and they're not, what are you going to do? Ornstein shutting down Gomez yesterday against what Romano said is an interesting one. Let that bubble up and let that cook a little bit, because that could come to fruition. We don't know. More on Conor Gallagher actually in a moment as well. But I want to do a few more comments on Semenyo first of all. So I'm just going to scroll up here and see and stop randomly. Where, right, let's go from here. James Garnacho could cover number 8 and number 6 and wing-back if is free in the summer. We should welcome him back. To be honest, it's not going to happen. United never go back on players, and I'll credit to Jimmy Garner. I don't think he is the answer for Manchester United in any of them positions, mate. I really don't. I mean, if he's haggling over a contract at Everton right now, then he isn't a player Manchester United should be looking at. You can talk about squad depth and all of that, and if it was a free transfer, which I don't think he is, because Everton are trying to sign him up to a new contract. If it was a free, I would take him, yes, as a squad player, but I don't think United would go for him anyway, because I don't think he would want to come to United either, because he wouldn't play. And that's looking at the transfers that we could also potentially make in the summer. Steve Charles says, Semenyo, 2 CDMs at top of the shopping list now. If being greedy, would love Gehi too. That is greedy. It is. Let's see, we should. Why would Semenyo come to a club that may not have European football next season and play out of position? Well, you could say that he could go to a club like Liverpool that might not get European football next season, that he might be on the bench for, because he's got other players in there as well. Why? Well, that's down to Manchester United to convince him, not us, mates. And that, Gary, is what I'm expecting from this football club, and what the point was when we started the show, which is United need to show us, Rúben needs to show us that this is adaptable. And this is a hybrid system that you can convince a player to come in. So if they can convince Semenyo to come into this, then credit to them. I'm impressed with that. You should be doing everything in your power to do it. But look, why would he go to Manchester United ahead of Liverpool? Well, I just made the point of that before. Liverpool apparently are the front runners, but Liverpool's season is spiraling out of control right now. And yes, they're in Europe now. There's no guarantee they're going to make it either, because there are better teams in the league than Liverpool this season. As long as Arne Slot stays at Liverpool, I don't think they're going to make European football next season. They're definitely going to make the Champions League. So this is about Man United convincing him to come now to get us in the Champions League, of which we're only 3 points away from. Now, if he fits perfectly in there, this is how I would be selling it to him. Selling him the projects, selling where he is going to be and who he's going to be working alongside. And by the way, anybody worrying about the AFCON and bringing Semenyo in and we can't do it, Ghana are not in AFCON. They did not qualify, so Semenyo is not part of AFCON this year and is fully available throughout the festive period and into January while that competition is going on. That we found out when we were first talking about this potential deal. I'm still a bit fuming from that Everton game. We need a better performance versus Palace. I take a draw and run. I know we need wins after the Everton game. I couldn't see it. If we don't win the game tomorrow, Stephen, we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in this show. If we don't win the game tomorrow, I'll be fuming. I'll be absolutely fuming. Draws are not good enough anymore. I'm sorry. I'm not having draws. We need wins now. And I will not be happy if we don't get a win against Crystal Palace. I know it's a tough ground, but you've now got to prove to us as a fan base that you can make up for that absolute disaster class. The draw against Palace after beating Everton would have been all right. You're still looking at that steady progress. But now you've lost at home to a 10-man Everton. You better win that game tomorrow. I don't care what people are saying in terms of it's a tough game, I'm not confident. You've got to win that game. I won't be happy. This is what you've got to do now to make up and prove to us that you can actually make European football this season. Good morning to you as well, Silverback. Good morning, everybody who is just joining us right now. Get into the live chat and get involved in the debate this morning. Manchester United have apparently made their first move in contacting the agent of Antoine Semenyo. Contract on the table and negotiations ongoing. Nothing with the club, no formal bids, nothing serious yet, but the first move with just around 5 weeks to go until that January window opens. Things are starting to hot up, it would seem, and United's interest is genuine. Yesterday, actually, David Ornstein also said, again, Manchester United's interest in Semenyo is definitely there. It's whether or not they want to go out and buy another player in a similar position to the ones they've already bought. So clearly United are having to rethink here. Does this push, just a question I wanted to ask everybody, does this push Rúben Amorim into changing a little bit to fit better players in? What system would you play if you had Semenyo though? How would you do it? How would you play? Because you still got the same problem if you bring him in. Like, I think he can play in that wing-back role and be hybrid and alternate, and I think the versatility of him as well, because he's played a few different positions for Iriola at Bournemouth also. I think there's a chance that we could utilise him and it works in that way. But whatever formation you put out there, they're still trying to fit everybody in, and it's not going to be easy. I mean, you could go all out attack. That's something that you could do. Maybe the 3-5-2, where it's two midfielders, and you could maybe play, for instance, I'm just working it out here now. So you go 3 at the back, then you've got Amad and maybe, I don't know, Dorgu or Diallo, and you've got Semenyo just inside there as the left midfielder. You could have Mbeumo as the right midfielder in there still, but attacking forward. Bruno Fernandes could be in. It's all of. You could look at it a few different ways. Oh no, Bruno could actually be in the front too, just off Sesko. Look, you make of it what you wanted, but at the end of the day, Semenyo is a quality player that United need to be going to get. Semenyo or not, I'd be playing 4-2-3-1 with a double pivot with who we have. It's an obvious one. I think I did this last night in my look ahead to the game in the video. I actually changed up my shape and formation to fit the best players that we've got, and it looked a lot solid. It looked a lot more solid, and just looking at the setup with them players made it feel like you could actually get something out of the game. So, Adam, see Antoine Semenyo is the other Amad with a right foot that Rúben Amorim was talking about during his post-match press conference against Everton. You need versatility, I think is what it is. I think versatility out wide, I think, is what Rúben Amorim needs in this system. He likes players to be able to cut in. He likes the inverted. He likes that type of opposite foot playoff who cuts inside and can go on the outside. You need absolute quality. That's the problem. And there isn't anything there at Manchester United. There's not one player that could play that role for him. So he has to go out and spend money. It's as simple as that. I think we need to do as many deals as we can, Adam, but as cheap as possible, as the squad is terrible. Gomez, Gallagher, Ross Barkley, Semenyo in, Diallo, Menu, Bruno, Ugarte, sold. Also Sporting captain in. I probably wouldn't take Hillman, the Sporting captain. I wouldn't take Ross Barkley either, Joe, to be honest, mate. And I don't think you can get deals done cheap. The only way United get the players that they want is by spending a lot of money. And we cannot and will not be able to get away from that. The talk, I touched on Conor Gallagher the other day as well. There is more talk on him again this morning, in that the £26 million that Atletico Madrid wants is genuine, and actually is to push recruitment for Atletico Madrid and Diego Simeone. They want to invest in January but need to make room and money, and Conor Gallagher is seen as the player to release and get some money for. So this is more, not so much a Conor Gallagher push and Manchester United going in for Gallagher now. He's becoming more and more available because Atletico Madrid aren't playing him that much and are looking to use him now to bring somebody else in. So these are the reports coming from Spain right now on the Conor Gallagher situation. So there is nothing more to report in terms of Conor Gallagher and United getting close to signing him. That's nowhere near. The reports are of Conor Gallagher actually being not pushed out, but becoming more and more available than what he was before, and a real opportunity there for anybody, not just United, anybody taking Gallagher. The report is that he still wants to come back to the Premier League, and obviously the opportunity of going to Manchester United would definitely appeal to Conor Gallagher. We know that already. It's just whether we think Conor Gallagher is the right type of investment. And if you can get Conor Gallagher for 26 million, it's a no-brainer. It's like what, I think it was, I can't remember who said it before about Jimmy Garner and a free. Yeah, if the price is right for these types of players, then that's fine. But we cannot be going out spending fortunes on players that are not, or let's not say fortunes, let's just say significant amounts of money on these players when we need that for the top targets in the summer. We cannot do that. But Conor Gallagher for 26 million is go, get him now and get him in United's squad. That's what that type of price is for me. That is a no-brainer for Conor Gallagher, because he will feature for Manchester United this season and next. And United could go out and buy another 2 midfielders on top of that. You would have already seen the news, I'm sure, if you were on social media also. Fabrizio Romano has posted pictures now of Orozco, the young Colombian midfielder, on his way to Manchester to sign. I think he's here this weekend, and the deal will all be done and ready to go for July when he turns 18. He will become a Manchester United player on July 1st. It is done. The deal is officially being completed this weekend. Romano with the pictures of Orozco, and I don't know if it was his agent or his father. I've not looked into it too much, but that, don't forget, is another purchase from Manchester United. Whether or not he sees him, I think it was a scout actually that was actually with him in the pictures. But whether or not Manchester United see Orozco as a forward, a future player for Manchester United or a first team player, it's another deal done with the new recruitment team and the push for younger players to try and develop from within, where United don't have to spend fortunes on players like we're talking about right now to try and, salvage a season. This is more of a look towards the future. This is more of a look towards what Manchester United could become in the future, I feel. I don't see Orozco being a first-team player next season for Manchester United. Look, he might. He might do. You never know. It could surprise us all, but I just don't see that happening. And I don't think United have a plan to make him the main player. He's just another player that's come in this new setup that we've got, and a push towards building the academy at Manchester United and developing from within. We'll get some more on Semenyo, Conor Gallagher as well. Connie Font says Gallagher is not the right player for United. He will just be another player stealing a wage, as are most of the United team. No, I disagree. I disagree with that. I do. Isn't Gallagher better than Mason Mount? Do you want another Chelsea reject? It's a different player in a different position. For me, anyway. I think Conor Gallagher at 26 million is the right type of player. I think he can play and be an option there for us. I think what we're looking at here is Gallagher is a player that will obviously be a squad player, and for 26 million, you don't mind that. Our squad player right now is somebody in Manuel Ugarte who cost us 40 plus million. I'm sorry. Conor Gallagher, I'd rather have on the pitch than Manuel Ugarte. I know he's not an out-and-out six. I get that. But he's a versatile player that can fit in there and give us an option when we need somebody else to come on off the bench that's not going to completely kill the rhythm and the momentum that was in that game, which Manuel Ugarte does every single time. Every time Casemiro comes off the pitch, United go to crap. We need better options. And when they're cheap as they are like this, then I just think it is the right type of player for Manchester United. Look, there's plenty of people that would disagree, but again, if he is available in January, I think it helps us this season. It all goes towards what's happening in the future, because again, I keep saying the same thing, don't I? I just want players that I know are going to be coming onto the pitch that have a certain amount of quality that can still help us in game. And right now, there's no one, really, is there? Because I don't think Ugarte is the right enough quality, and I don't think Menu can do that job. He's just not fit enough to play in that role. Menu needs to be a replacement for one of the 10s. It's simple as that. He just doesn't fit in one of the two midfield positions. I saw a post on X comparing Semenyo's heat map on the left to Amad on the right wing back, on the right wing back, and they was almost the same, even though he plays forward. Look, Semenyo in this situation, great super chat, Glenn, on that one, because people look at the formation. He starts in this position, but he doesn't stay in that position. Semenyo is well known for working back, tracking back and helping out his defence and then bursting forward, because he's got the energy, the power and the pace to carry that ball from his own half forward. And that's a play that we haven't got. We just haven't got that. We've got the skill of Amad. Brian Mbeumo is already further up the field, so too Matheus Cunha. They can carry the ball, but they cannot do what Semenyo does. And when listening to what Jason Wilcox said, I'm going back to that again, and yes, I know, going back to that again, it is something different. Offers something different to what we've already got. It's Semenyo. It's exactly Semenyo. That's what United need. They've got them skillful players in Cunha, in Amad, in Mbeumo, who can hold on to the ball, keep the ball, press resistant players that can use it and pass it and score. But they haven't got that direct power and pace that Semenyo has got. And that just gives United a different dynamic altogether. And I think this is where Manchester United should be looking. I see why. I fully see why United would want Semenyo and are looking at Semenyo. We just need to make the deal happen. We will find a place for him in that side. It will fit for us, I feel. And I think it will give Manchester United that extra strength. I feel confidence as well. I think he'll breed confidence into the rest of the team. Because a player like that, being able to carry that ball forward the way that he does, brings everybody forward instantly. We just haven't got that type of player anymore. And that's the concern when it comes to it. That's the concern that Manchester United have got right now. Like, there's just not enough options. And that's where we're all worried as a fan base. Onto the attacking side of things and the strikers. No striker coming in January is the word. A definite no from a report coming out on potential options. So what I mean by this is a lot of strikers are being offered to Premier League clubs in January. The likes of Guirassy from Dortmund, Toney from Saudi Arabia, obviously Ivan Toney, and Dusan Vlahovic. Manchester United will not be going for any of them strikers in January. They're not going to go out and spend money on a position that is going to be taken by a journeyman. All of these players, apart from Vlahovic, who is mid-20s, Guirassy, I think he's 29, Toney 29, going on 30 as well. United are not going to go out and spend any money on anyone that age. Would you take any of them players, by the way, everybody? Get into the comments section and let me know. Would you go for it? Would you take Vlahovic? Would you take Toney? Another option up front. I don't think Manchester United are going to do it. I don't think they're in the market for a striker in January anyway. Potentially maybe in the summer, but I don't think we're going to get anyone in January. And this report that's come out there, I mean, any of them strikers there, would you take any of them strikers right now at United? Is there any point in going for one of them strikers. The Vlahovic, the Ivan Toney, the Guirassy. I don't know how Guirassy is actually available at the moment. I really don't. It's a weird one. He's only just joined Dortmund not too long ago. So, yeah, strange, but yeah, I don't know. If United go out and buy a striker, I will be absolutely shocked. Block said he would take Toney. I'm not sure about Toney, honestly. I'm not. I know he's scoring goals in Saudi, but he'd want an absolute fortune. He wouldn't be cheap anyway. I just don't see. Look, in terms of the player, if we had him, I'd love him. But I don't see Ineos going out and buying an Ivan Toney. It's just not the character. It's not the character, not the profile of player that Manchester United want. Kieran says Semenyo left wing back, Amad right wing back, Mbumo 10, Cunha 10, Sesko 9. That's a good arrowhead. That is very strong, mate. It is. Even a lone striker for this season is important. Watkins on loan. Do you think Villa would actually sanction that transfer? Never in a million years would we get anyone we need of the quality we need on loan. I don't think. There is no one out there available on loan. And look, the idea is right. The idea is right. Go and get a loan player. Go and find somebody to come in. But you have to look at it properly and say, there is no one there. There is no one there. And like United need to go out and surprise us and bring somebody in maybe. But we all also want United to be sensible in what we do. We don't want to waste money. We don't want to be bringing players in that are just not going to feature. Which takes me back to Conor Gallagher. I think he would. I actually do genuinely think he would play a part for Manchester United. But look, I get why people wouldn't want him, because we're comparing him to the other midfielders that we're looking at, which we can't get until the summer. And he doesn't match up to them. I'm fully with that argument. And I understand why people wouldn't want Conor Gallagher ahead of them. I think he's another player as well as them, though. And that's what I like for that price. I think he would be a very, very good squad player for Manchester United. He would help us get into European positions this season. And then he would be a squad rotation player when we need him. Hopefully, touch wood, when we're in Europe again next season. That, I think, is crucial for Manchester United. Again, like I said, we need, with what's being said about Elliot Anderson and Manchester City making him their top target now, we need to be in Europe next season. We need to be able to offer something. We do. We really, really do. And, oh, God, it's difficult. It is difficult, but I still think we can do it if the right investment's made. If we buy Semenyo in January, I think that will give us enough to get into Europa League at least this season. I really do. His fingers crossed with everything into it at the moment. Sean, as well, I've sent you a message on Instagram, mate, regarding that Villa tickets. I know Graham's asking you in the chat there, so hit me back up on that, mate, if you can. We just signed 2 number 10s. We don't need another winger /10. We need a centre mid and a wing back. Well, Semenyo plays in that position, mate. That's what we're talking about. Like the heat map coming out, and people can see where Semenyo works. It's that hybrid setup and what actually works in Amorim's system. But Semenyo would also work in the future if Amorim wasn't even here. That's the point I was making at the top of the show as well. Also, don't forget, guys, this weekend, we've just dropped the link in the live chat right now. James has dropped it in there. If you haven't already, get into our prediction competition, everybody. They are there for the Crystal Palace game. Pick 6 of these predictions to win money. You can play this game for free as well and just go along with it and have some fun with it, everybody, as well. Obviously, it is a gamble. Please gamble aware. You can spend as little as £1 in making your bets on this and still win pretty decent money with it. But they're the options. I mean, which do you think I should go for on this? We're going to be doing a call-in show ahead of the Crystal Palace game tonight on Big Up, everybody, where I will make my predictions live. But what do you think is right on there? Out of them 8, which is the go-to 6 for me? You don't have to pick 6, by the way. You only have to pick a minimum of 2 and take the money that you would go for there. Just for instance, I'll just put it up. If Brian Mbumo, let's just say he was to get a goal or get an assist, Manchester United were to score more than 1.5 goals, so they need to score 2 goals. If you went yes on that, there you go at the bottom there, as you can see. You're already up there winning. If you put a $10 bet on that, then you would get $30 back. That's obviously calculated into pounds as well. But you don't have to bet £10. You can bet as little as £1 and still get a little win. Or you can play the game for free and play along with us. There is a leaderboard, as you can see already, and many people have already put their bets in and put their predictions in, whether they will be with money on or not. Get involved in the leaderboard. We will be talking about this and running this game live with the watch along tomorrow here on YouTube and Big Up simultaneously. So the game is live with us, everybody. So get involved for free or get involved and try and win yourself some money. If you do enter this competition right now, though, everybody, you are automatically entered into a prize draw for $25,000. That obviously converted back into pounds for yourselves as well. So get involved. Get in there, be in with the chance to win 25k. Well, it's a great Christmas present, isn't it? But you could win up to 300 quid anyway if you put a minimal bet on these actual predictions as well. So get involved in the game if you're interested. The link is there in the live chat right now. James has just dropped that in. There's a few people there already on our leaderboard, as you can just see the top half there. That is there already. So get involved, get into them predictions. What do you think is going to happen in that Crystal Palace game tomorrow? I've actually got a poll up right now on the screen here on YouTube. I put it up right at the start of the show, and I was gauging people's confidence levels in where we're at for this Crystal Palace game. And how confident are you for tomorrow, Reds? How confident are you? Very, pretty, not. I have zero confidence. 27% of you right now have zero confidence in Manchester United picking up anything from this game. Man, one game. I was out for a meal last night. I was talking to my brother and was talking between him, me, Kaz, and we was all saying the same thing. It's like that Everton game completely zapped all confidence and like it just zapped everything out of us, didn't it? It's hard to explain. It's hard to describe the feeling of what that game did. But all it did was remind us. All it did was remind us of what this team was last season, didn't it? And it's hard to come back from that. And this is what I've said all along. The only way that I will be behind this team and the manager now is if we win the next 3 games. They need to show us tomorrow that it doesn't matter that it's Crystal Palace and we've got a poor record there. Stop making excuses. You have to now go out and win that game because you should have won Everton. Go out and win at Crystal Palace. I think we get a reaction performance tomorrow from Man United. I really do think tomorrow Manchester United come out and I'm not going to say make a statement, but I reckon the performance is 20 times better than what we got against Everton. Oh, it's a big shout from me, that, isn't it? I know, because there's not much confidence there. In terms of the actual vote, there is basically, looking at it there, 25% of you are very or pretty confident. 75% of you are not confident or have zero confidence in this team right now. I get it. I totally get that. And you're not going to get anything coming back from me on that. This is how I feel right now. I'm in that position where I was when we was coming up to the Chelsea game and the Sunderland game and the Brentford game, when I was predicting all of these results. When it gets like this with United, you kind of know what's coming. It's weird. It's really weird. You know that there's going to be a reaction. If there isn't, it's time to panic. It really is, because then, for me, it shows that these players are not believing in Rúben Amorim, and then you've got the standoff between the players not performing for Amorim again and Ineos backing him fully and not being worried about where Manchester United finish from now until the end of the season or how we perform, because they still want to back him and give him another chance and invest in him in the summer. There needs to be some form of consistency in Manchester United's performances for this to work for Ineos. Otherwise, I think we're going to have a big problem again. I think we're going to have a big problem mid-season if this form continues, if we don't start winning games. So I think United will win, because I do think the players are behind him. But this will really deflate me this weekend. If I see anything like the Everton game, you will probably, and I'm just being honest with how I feel right now, because a lot of people were having a go at me for trying to back Amorim and back the performance and things like that. I wasn't backing it. I was just saying that I don't see Ineos getting rid of Amorim, and we're going to suffer for it, because the players, I'm sort of in between at the moment, where them players are on board with Amorim or not, and tomorrow will prove it. You're coming back off the worst performance of the season against 10 men. You're an absolute embarrassment to the shirt. If you don't react and we don't beat Palace, then I think it's a clear sign that these players aren't behind Rúben Amorim, and we've got a problem again. That's just the feeling that I've got right now. I don't want to think it. I don't want it to be there. Like every United fan, I want to be winning games. I'm just not fully confident that that is going to happen. And I need to be shown, and they need to prove to us, to me, a fan, and all of us Man United fans, that they are going to give more. Because what they gave us on Monday, I can't even describe. Every time I think about it, and this was the conversation we was having last night, it's like you cannot describe what you watched, because it was so crap. It was awful, and there is no excuse for it. So let's see what happens tomorrow. That's where we're at. That game destroyed any hope, said Sesko Lover. It really did hurt Amorim and this team and this fan base. The atmosphere before that game was electric. When we came out of there, it was toxic in one game. And they will know, and them players will know, that this fan base will not stand for that. They cannot keep just winning one game and thinking we've got over that hurdle and then we move on again. We're done now, we're safe. They have to think consistently, and I don't think they've got it in them. That's why we need to go out and buy better players. No Sesko, no Cunha. Got Lamens and then Mbumo. We said it's going to be 9 players that were there last season starting this game again. Everyone off the bench is from last season. There's no change. There's no real change. So, let's see, eh? Let's see if they've got it. There is no way we're winning 3 in a row. We only won 2 in a row once in Rúben's entire tenure. We won 3 in a row, though, mate. So we've won 2 in a row and we've won 3 in a row in Rúben's tenure. So we can do it. I'm sorry. If we cannot beat Palace, West Ham and Wolves, then I give up. I give up. No disrespect to the teams, but I'm sorry, what's the point in even thinking about what might actually be? You might as well all just give up on the season if we can't win them games. If we're thinking that we cannot win them games with this team, then there's no point in even getting behind the team. Super chats in from, first of all, Ant, who says, not mine, we are beating Palace, or it's time. Is that time for Amorim if we don't beat Palace, Ant? Is that what you mean by that, buddy? And then I always come back again with another super chat and says, Amorim isn't the main problem for me. Legacy players with weak mentalities and real lack of on-pitch leadership. It's same old, same old. It's such an interesting game tomorrow now when you look at this. It really is, isn't it? Joe says, hi Adam, do you think Amorim should go or bring Ferguson in for a season-long coaching with Amorim to help him? No, mates, that's dreamland stuff, that, and Fergie's not going anywhere near this team. I think Ferguson should just be left alone. Just leave the man be. We have to live without him. Amorim is the problem, says Sesko Lover. Players are playing out of position, playing 5 defenders against small teams. When did he attack? And that's in response to Ants on that one. Nervous, but behind them, says Deborah. Oh, we're always behind them. In every game, we're behind them, and then we'll give them what we think and our what's worth after the game, won't we? If they don't perform, but as always. And I'll be here early. It's a big marathon of streaming tomorrow, everybody. We'll have the 8 o'clock live show first thing. Then we're kickstarting the whole build-up to the game at 10 a.m. Going through 2 hours worth of build-up, talking about everything and then into the watch along. James will be joining me here in the studio for the watch along as well. So there's 2 of us to get through. We're going to be running the prediction competition, which is your link, don't forget, in the live chat, everybody, and top link in the description. We've just gone through how you make your predictions in there. Get involved in the game, be with a chance of winning big money this weekend, or play along for free, everybody. If you just want the enjoyment of it, please gamble aware always, and make sure that you spend to your means. So a few more comments coming in. A lot on the actual game. I'm so furious at Shaw. He should know more than any other player, and yet I never see him scream or school other players. Our senior players are clowns, says Savage. I mean, Gary Neville's description and analysis of Luke Shaw was damning on its own, wasn't it? It was horrendous. Do you know what? Actually, right, Gary Neville. By the way, everybody, please give the video a like if you haven't already. If you're enjoying the content, likes are completely free, everybody. So too is subscribing to the channel. It helps us out massively already. We have a great community constantly coming back. The stats on YouTube are telling us that over 60% of you who are watching are actually subscribed. Let's try and get that more. So please hit that subscribe button, everybody, and make sure that you are part of the journey as we move forward here on Forever United TV. You're only going to get honest, straight to the point opinion here on FUTV, everybody. That is our morning show, everyone. Thank you so much. Time flies when you're having fun. Get your comments in below when the show has finished its live, and obviously let me know what you think of Semenyo. That was our top story today, everyone. Semenyo, move made by Manchester United, and talks apparently are ongoing now. Contract even on the table. So let's see if United can make that happen. It would make a lot of Man United fans a lot happier anyway, wouldn't it? But that is it for this morning, everybody. Like, share, subscribe to Forever United TV. I will see you all later on this evening, unless there is anything else that breaks. Don't forget, we have got a live and a live. We've got the call-in show as well this